in Super Dope Plus Ultra. Second part of a two-parter this week, because last week we couldn't talk about episode 70. So we did that. And now we're talking about episode 71, Suneater of the Big Three. So, I gotta be honest. When he does that co-spot half and half episode with the Red Riot a couple weeks ago, Kirishima.
Yep.
First of all, great episode. But
Absolutely.
we talked a lot about the dichotomy of the two of their attitudes. Kirishima, pretty positive dude overall. Suneater, a little bit down on his luck a little bit. We get to see that same sort of dynamic, but instead of some, intern that he's working with, it's with one of his closest friends. And this episode I thought was kind of structured interestingly in terms of like how the episode's typically structured. Like, we get right up the top, no intro song, nothing, flashback to third grade.
Right.
Yeah.
Tamaki
Amajiki.
Tamaki Amajiki. If I say it 3 times, maybe I will stick in my brain and I won't fuck it up throughout the rest of the episode. But full disclosure, podcast.
It's probably going to fuck it up, folks.
Probably going to fuck it up. Tamaki Amajiki.
Just warning you now.
So he is transferring into a new class in the third grade. Y'all motherfuckers ever make a transfer into a new school?
Nope.
Oh, really? Neither of you?
Never.
No.
I mean, obviously you guys are brothers, so it kind of makes sense that I guess if one of you hasn't, then the other wouldn't have. So, bummer. I had.
Can't even imagine.
It was tough, and it was not in the third grade.
Yeah, it's starring all over.
Yes. I transferred schools at the end of 7th grade from the Swansea School District to the Warren Bristol School District. And it was at the almost end of the school year. It was the middle of April. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the story as to why I transferred, but let's just say it's a long story. But I transferred in at the end of a school year. All right. I'm already a fucking weirdo. Let's be real. I just started playing guitar the year before. All right. That ended up being my saving grace. And I didn't know anybody, really. I knew Jimmy and Carlton, but honestly, knowing Jimmy and Carlton in middle school didn't do your reputation any favors. And and neither of them were in my grade either. So it was not like I had classes with either of them. Jimmy's a year younger, Carlton's a year older. So those two are the only guys I know in school. It's intimidating. And Tamaki is somebody who already very evidently, even as now a teenager, borderline pro hero, almost ready to make that jump when he graduates, probably. He deals with a lot of anxiety issues and a lot of lacking in self-confidence issues.
Yeah, definitely.
So him as a little kid seeing that in third grade, I mean, I also relate to Tamaki in that sense too. Like, I got that part of me where I talk to you motherfuckers on a microphone every week, and you probably think I'm not that bad, but I'm the worst, and I hate me. So I got a little bit of like that dichotomy between Mirio and Tamaki, or Kirishima, or whoever you want to look at it as. I can very much relate to his situation of him introducing himself to the classroom.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Nobody gives a shit. He's not very well spoken and doesn't really make an impression on anybody, seemingly. However, Mirio steps up to him and he's like, "Hey, you were mumbling some stuff about heroes.
You say you were gonna like heroes?
You like heroes? Is that what you were trying to say? You mumbling piece of garbage." I mean, obviously he didn't say it like that, but he takes what he tried to make his first impression be, and helped him kind of like reshape it a little bit. And that mutual interest of heroes helps them develop a fast friendship, despite the very evident differences in their personalities.
Right.
So as we are running in to the Shia Saikai headquarters to go try to rescue Erie, you see Mirio leading the charge. Again, you listen to the last episode 70, he says this time's going to be different. And he's kind of very much at the forefront of this raid into the compound.
Yep.
And Tamaki has this flashback. You see him from the back of the crowd, seeing Mirio leading the charge. And he's like, will I ever be able to shine as bright as that MFer up there? And then it cuts to, I think...
the theme song.
I think maybe the greatest My Hero Academia theme song, guys.
Yeah, man. I'm in complete agreement with that.
Yeah. Polaris, Blue and Count, or Blue and Count is the name of the band. Polaris is the name of the song.
It's fantastic.
I think it might be the best My Hero Academia theme song. Like, whatever theme song has to follow this theme song is fucked.
Yeah.
There's just 100%. There's just no way.
Yep. I know.
That's going to be as good.
Yep.
No way. I feel bad for whoever follows this song. So we've got the chaos going on outside. You know, we got Ryukyu, the big Dragoon hero, fighting the big dude, cops and, you know, low-level thugs with the Shiosaikai outside, just kind of doing the thing. And a big faction of the heroes run inside, including Fat Gum, Rocklock, Deku, Tamaki Amajiki. Obviously, it would be weird if he wasn't in this episode, given that it's named after him. Eraserhead, and obviously Mirio. We also have Kirishima, and then Bubble Girl and Suneater. They're in there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Suneater, definitely worst voice.
Definitely worst voice.
Worst voice.
First voice.
But, like, he's got such a weird little thing. So, like, we get to see him in Bubble Girl, and you had the question too. Suneater, so 3, I guess, level henchmen come in. Like, they go in, they get through the door. We get to see Night Eye. I'll get to see another example of his quirk again, and see how Neckbeard, blondie boy with the glitter gals doll.
I don't even know his name.
Who cares? We get to see the secret entrance into, like, the lower level, right? And he, like, goes in and moves this little piece of like a pot almost.
Yeah.
Plays with
Presses.
boards.
Yeah, it's like fucking Simon Says shit.
Yeah.
And he gets in, ninja hideout kind of stuff. And they run up in there, and, like, when the door opens, 3 dudes charge out, and Suneater steps up, wraps 2 of them up. I don't know how centipedes work. That's the ones with lots of legs, right?
100 legs. That's why they're
Jesus.
centipedes.
All right, excuse me, Mr. Number Math.
What?
Mr. Number Math is your
Number
new name.
math.
Number math.
He wraps up 2 of them and shouts out to Bubble Girl, get the 3rd. And Bubble Girl steps up, blows a bubble, all right?
Yeah.
And then it hits dude in the face.
And he's like, ah, my eyes.
So does it, like, blind him? Does it hurt his eyes? What's the bubbles made of?
What are they made of?
Is it you said maybe it's just straight up bubbles.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
I
soap.
mean, I think it just can't be acid, because why wouldn't his face deteriorate?
So, like, if she blew a bubble at me and I caught it in a container, and then I was like, blow a couple more so we can even out the water to bubble ratio, and then I put in some water, would it make some soapy water? Is that what you're trying to say? Would I be able to wash my dishes with it?
That's a possibility.
Or is it like some kind of acid-based thing that, like, actually blinds and hurts and maybe burns somebody's eyes, skin, something?
Maybe if the bubble makes contact with them, it like
maybe it's
does
like a tear
something to
gas.
their eyes.
Either way,
Either way, what the fuck is it made out of?
Who knows? I know that Centipeter's the worst, and that Bubble Girl's bubbles blinds a dude, which I think might be some kind of euphemism for her tits. Anyway,
Maybe.
they're running through the hall. They come up to a wall in the hallway.
Dead end.
Straight up dead end. Mirio uses his fusion. Mirio uses his phasing. It's permeation, right?
Permeation.
So I'm always inclined to say phasing because that's what they call Kitty Pryde's power in the X-Men. But permeation. Mirio uses his permeation to go and peek through the next wall, and we get the little tidbit that, because Kirishima's like, yo, please don't go peek through that wall. You're going to be naked. I don't want to see your manhood again. Please. And we get the little tidbit that Mirio's costume is made out of his hair.
Yep.
So
a fiber of his hair.
Yeah, so it's going to phase with him. So we solve for naked Mirio, thank Christ. He goes.
I don't think any criminal would want to fight that.
I mean,
if some naked jack dude was running at you, telling me you wouldn't give
I'd
up,
run away.
I'd probably run away.
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit, I'd be fucking frightened, man.
I would be too. I don't want to fight a naked high school student. That sounds illegal to me. I don't
Especially
care.
if he's running at me looking to kick my ass.
I don't care the circumstances. So he peeks through the wall, and we see that there's a path ahead, and that overhaul. They make the comment. Rocklock points it out. He's like, I know that overhaul can like deconstruct quirks, but like apparently he can reconstruct them again. Like he does with the bullets. But in this point, he's doing it with actual concrete cement walls. Yeah. So I'm curious. Again, we talked about it a little bit with Rocklock before. With Overhaul, I want to see him use that kind of mentality and that kind of strategy within an actual fight.
Yeah.
We've seen him straight up, eviscerate people, just disembowel them. I can't imagine that with this many heroes coming at them, especially with all the heroes with the mentality of like, we know that they're trying to stall us. Each of us one at a time is going to make the sacrifice so the greater, the rest of the group can keep moving forward to try to move it on. So like, we know that multiple heroes are going to face him. He's probably going to have to get creative in how he chooses to fight them. And I feel like this whole idea of him being able to manipulate things to make a barrier or something that maybe we have, to protect or shield as opposed to just straight up destroy or eviscerate. Something maybe we've discounted or maybe not thought a lot about. Doesn't matter though. You know why?
Why?
Because we got Kirishima and Deku to fucking double penetrate that wall.
Yup.
Straight up smash a red gauntlet
and a full cowling shoot style kick.
It's beautiful. They break through that wall and they keep going on, and that's when they bump into the next of the 8 bullets of the Shiha Saikai, Mimic, who, real quick, Quirk juices his power through the GD ceiling. So as we mentioned in passing, they get that briefing at 8 a.m. when they all get together. They hand out the sheets. These are the people we expect to encounter. Everybody kind of knows what's happening going in. So they make the comment. Mimic's power is he can basically go into something and be able to manipulate it.
Yeah.
And the understanding is that he shouldn't be able to manipulate anything bigger than, say, a refrigerator. That's such a fucking New England thing that I just did.
Put it in the refrigerator and do it.
Hey, dude, put it in the fridge, guy. Fucking pocket car in the fridge because it's small enough to fit in the fridge. He shouldn't be able, and that's the comparison of size that they give them. Shouldn't be able to manipulate anything more than a refrigerator. Better? Mosh. That's a Portuguese thing. Mosh batch. That's an English Portuguese thing. It's an ignorant English Portuguese thing. I could go on for days about ignorant stuff. Obviously, if you listen to this podcast for any stretch of time, you know that already. Anyway. Mimic, he ain't fucking with no fridges.
No, man.
He took the quirk juice. So he's actually infused himself into the concrete of the building and is now just like
twisting and turning it and
shit. Just like making it an untenable kind of journey for them, like trying to just very evidently slow them down. Because it's not like the walls are kind of like shifted and moving and like jerking them around and kind of whatever, but like it didn't like strike me as any kind of direct attacks or anything. He's just trying to like make it difficult for them to keep making forward progress.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mirio is so on to what's up, and he's like, they're just trying to slow us down. They had a little bit of a heads up, but like now it's all about stalling us. It's all about speed, and I need to run ahead. So the reason I stop and point that out, because it seems like it's just kind of a passing thing, Mirio's running up ahead. He is so trying to make good on letting Eerie go that first time.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where I'm kind of worried for him. Like, I'm worried he's going to get reckless about trying to make good on it.
Definitely. Yep.
And Tamaki makes a comment to, I think, Kirishima and Deku, while, Tamaki, a few minutes later on, he's like, make sure you watch out for him. He's going to basically just try too hard. He's going to get a little reckless, maybe. I do think it's interesting that they make the comment about Mirio. If he does catch up with Overhaul, if he does, as he runs ahead, it's mentioned, like, what's he going to do
when it's just one on?
If it does end up being one-on-one. And we just talked about, like, Overhaul and the idea of trying to fight multiple heroes. Well, what if that is the case? And Mirio fucking Kitty prides his ass through all the goddamn walls and finds himself fighting Overhaul one-on-one. What happened? I mean,
all you really see him do is toy with the Class A.
real quick, I didn't think about this till just now. Permeation.
Yeah.
Does Overhaul's quirk, would it work on Muriel the same way it would on a typical person if Muriel's
I don't
quirk
think
is
it can-
activated?
I don't think it can permeate. What do you mean? Like if if Overhaul touched him while he was in the middle of using his power, like if he touched the wall that he was on.
I don't know. Now that I said it out loud, it doesn't sound that smart. But like, I could see the idea of Muriel's quirk being some kind of deterrent against Overhaul because it phases through things. Like it's
Yeah,
not
but I
something
don't think
that
he
it,
faces through like human.
No, he
bodies.
doesn't.
I know, but like I could. Well, the reason that I'm even on that track of thinking is because the way that they've treated Aizawa's quirk throughout this whole thing,
Yeah.
and how it's and even one of the people in this episode's one of the 8 bullets of the Shiosaikai makes the comment of like, oh, I heard your quirk works just like Erie's Eraserhead. They've gone to certain lengths to like make comments about how Eraserhead quirk works and how it affects people on a cellular level. I'm wondering if somebody who's got the ability to make their cells essentially something that you just pass right through, if that's something that maybe Overhaul wouldn't be able to manipulate and deconstruct or whatever. Like maybe his quirk specifically would be sort of immune to what Overhaul's quirk is all about.
Maybe.
I'm just spitballing. I don't know. Just something that just crossed my head. I haven't talked to you guys about it prior to this. So Matamaki does make the comment like, hey, make sure you guys look out for him because he's about to get reckless. If he does have to fight him, we haven't really seen Muriel make any real like offensive
No, like he
fight.
said,
Besides Class 1A, that's it.
Yeah.
And he
even
kind of
there,
just toyed with them.
yeah, he's just dicking around, putting his head through the sands like, hey, what's up? I see you. I'm naked now.
Yeah, that
I'm
was.
thinking now.
Look at me. Hanging dong. Thunder gun style. But then we get that's really weird. Like that's when we get the break, and that's when Tamaki Mirio, not Tamaki Mirio, that's not his fucking name. Tamaki Yamajiki, of the big three. We get the title card, and then it breaks. So like the structure of this episode is just so strange. You know what I mean? So we get the title card. We know that there are 3 members of the 8 bullets of the Shiosaikai that we now have to try to get through to keep progressing. And that's when we get the quick comment that I mentioned before. I think it's Crystallize. Is that his name?
That's his
crystallization
quirk,
is his
but-
quirk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know it's larceny, food, and you're going to look up the other one for me. But he makes the comment about when he sees Eraserhead, he's like, oh, look, it's Eraserhead. He's like a mini Erie, or like another version of Erie, like a lesser version, basically. So, did you get the name? Larceny? No. Crystallized? Doesn't matter. So, Tamaki is really quick to step up and basically say, hey, I got this bullshit. I'm really down on guns. He understands how Larceny's quirk works, and that, and you have the police kind of throw it out there like, yo, Eraserhead, erase this dude's quirk so that we can use our firearms. Larceny's whole thing is if he can see something, he can take it from you. Mm-hmm. So obviously, the police not being able to use their guns, kind of a problem, but
it looks like he had to be within a certain range, though.
That and the size of the object as well.
Size of the object plays into it, but I feel like it's maybe just like a one thing at a time thing. Either way, the idea of them just needing to keep progressing forward so that way the other heroes can reach Overhaul. Mm-hmm. Tamaki Yamajiki is obviously like, I got this shit. Homeboy did his homework. Not only did he get the sheet, 8 a.m. in the morning, but he got some homework in the night before, and he studied all of these 8 dudes. And he's like, if I run into these guys, this is what I do. Now, he steps up to take care of it. Obviously, his self-confidence isn't exactly his strong suit, right?
Right.
So when Fat Gum is told by him, hey, get the fuck out my face, I've got this. Fat Gum, who knows the kid, he's like interning for him. He's like,
Okay.
oh, all right, cool. This makes sense because if you think you can do it, you never believe in yourself to do anything.
If you believe in yourself,
If you believe
You
in
can do
yourself, I believe in you too. And he's like, all right, guys, he's got this. See you later. Everyone's like, what the fuck? You think this is a good idea?
He's going to leave one of your students?
He's still a high school student. He's like a kid, man. He's like, nah. He says he's got it. And they run out. And he binds them up in these big, long octopus arms. And you think, like, for a while, we're good to go. Other guys keep going forward, just going on. And he's got them all fucking tangled up. And he looks at him at a certain point and he goes, all right, guys, well, I have to knock you out now, if that's cool. And as he goes to do it, it's like his shell clam hand goes to...
No, it's one of the... It looked like he wrapped up one of the tentacles, like he made a fist out of the tentacles.
So he goes to make a fist out of some fucking tentacles to go knock him out. And Larceny says, not today. Who's that dude who says that, Feds?
Not today?
Not today.
Oh, that's Dikembe Mutombo.
Dikembe Mutombo is his ass and says, not today.
No.
And he has like a knife pop out of his mask. And he's like, don't ever trust these crazy masks that we all wear. Because knives hide in them.
Hiding.
Yeah, knives hide in these. And chops off some tentacles. Catches him in a moment of weakness or whatever. And they all break out. And the fight starts. But not before we got some exposition about not only where these dudes came from, but like what their whole mentality is and why they have such a seemingly big or grand allegiance to Overhaul. They talk about themselves as straight up trash.
Right.
They're from the trash. They're off the garbage heap.
Written off.
They're just nothing. They're scraps. Each of them has their own respective set of sad circumstances. Larceny, his girlfriend left him, love of his life, left him in a mountain of debt. He went crazy and evil and whatever. Crystallize, which
it's Crystallize.
All right, cool. I got it right. Crystallize, he was making fake diamonds, didn't realize they were fake. The guy he was selling them to realized they were fake. He just said, fuck you, tried to kill him. Pretty sad story. And then there's the donkey-brained kid named Food who just tries to eat everything with his crazy razor-sharp teeth and impenetrable jaw or whatever.
But he digests food the second he eats it, though.
Very quickly.
So his stomach is never full.
So he's very much in line with Tamaki's quirk and how he just keeps making seafood. All right, and we get that joke a couple times. But, he's donkey brains plus crystals plus evil thief guy who can steal things from you with his eyesight. They all break free, and they come at Tamaki Amajiki. I'm doing really good at remembering the name.
You are.
I'm doing great.
Very good.
And basically at this point, things don't look good. They get him up against the wall. Crystallize continues to give him this whole spiel about how,
we're trash.
We're trash. And the bonds between us are, the fact that we've all been discarded and cast aside. But now that we've been given some purpose by being in this gang, that bond is what gives us strength. And they go build off that bond further in the narrative to actually show how their teamwork works together and how the three of them eventually get Tamaki against the wall. And Tamaki has this, big long thing about how, I don't understand the kind of adversity or anger or sadness or whatever it is you've had to endure. I don't get that. Never had to go through it myself, even though he's like emo kid. So like you could make the argument that maybe he has had to endure some bullshit. But in terms of what he's had to endure versus what these dudes have had to endure, two completely different walks of life, with the idea that he can't relate to them outside of the connections that they have with one another and the bonds, and how he can appreciate that they use that bond to work together to accomplish something, and how it reminds him of him and Mirio. And we get one of these other flashbacks of early in their time at UA together with Mirio and Tamaki. And Tamaki's having another one of these anxious moments out in front of the class. The setting kind of looks like one of those early episodes of My Hero where they're doing the baseball test and they're just trying to use their quirks to throw the baseball. Looks like the same exact setup, different homeroom teacher, different group of kids. Tamaki is having, an anxiety moment or whatever. And a few yards away, Mirio is just trying to practice his permeation by running through a board, and like he smashes his face, and everybody fucking laughs their balls off at him. And he's like, "Whatever, I'm gonna get it. I'll get
You
it."
should try this. It's like 5 times harder than
He's like,
anything.
"Yeah, it looks easy, but like it's the opposite of easy." And it's
Fuck
I'll
you
get
guys.
it. I'll get not only fuck you guys, but I'll get it eventually. And that kind of encapsulates a lot of what his attitude is about. And we get to see Tamaki have that kind of reflection on that moment, and then they also get to say, they have that walk down whatever hallway, and he's like, "Mirio, you're so bright," and blah blah blah. And Mirio gives him the pep talk. He's like, "Yo, you got a really cool quirk. It's a lot cooler than you give yourself credit for. I'm not even that cool. I'm more about my attitude than it is my quirk. So you can put that shit to fucking bed. You're a lot cooler than I am in a lot of ways." And kind of like flips Tamaki's whole perception of himself on his head. And that's where the Suneater name comes from is, in a lot of ways, you're more powerful than I am. If I'm as bright as the sun, like you say I am, then you're something even more powerful. You're a Suneater. And again, the dichotomy of those two relationships and the bond there is so much of what drives it. So that being the relating factor to him in this group of fucking thugs that he's fighting by himself, he's like, all right, if that's how you were able to beat me was this teamwork piece of it, that's exactly what I'm going to attack. Turns his fucking leg into a chicken leg, and he claws out a dude's eye, and he says, "You can't steal
it out.
You can't." In my heart, he clawed it out. He's like, "You can't steal what you can't see. Claw out your eyes. Now you're never stealing anything again. First your girl left you, and then I left you, eyeless."
I don't think he was eyeless, man. He just flicked one of the crystals into his eye.
Fine, you're probably right.
No, I am right.
And then Crystallized was like, "It's cool. I'm going to smash you into a brick wall." It sounded dirtier than I meant it. And he's like, "Oh, is you now?" Loki eats shards of the crystals from Crystallized. I didn't not understand. I didn't even consider the idea of him being able to consume inanimate objects and being able to manifest those. I thought it was like a living object kind of thing. Yeah. He all of a sudden, like, if Kirishima has like a shard of his thing break off and homeboy fucking eats it up, I like what they've given the possibility for his powers to do.
Yeah.
But he manifests these crystals. Food comes. The little donkey-brained upstate patient comes to try to bail his two buddies out, and then Tamaki puts Crystallize in the middle of him because of the bond. Again, he can't eat his friend because that's not cool. It's not
cool, man.
Not
It's
cool
your
at all.
friends, not food.
Don't eat your friends. So he doesn't, and Tamaki smashes them all. The end. Oh, basically the end, but not before like a really weird kind of line, and I wrote it down over here.
Well, we also didn't mention how Amajiki did put his quirk to the fullest potential and like became that big ass octopus.
Yeah,
thing.
it was something hybrid.
Vast hybrid.
Vast. Thank you.
Yeah, your girl got me shook. I was like, yo, let's wrap this thing up for this kid. Doing the Cliff Notes version. All right, Patreon, now that you've heard that, has your girl got you shook too?
No, man.
I don't care.
My girl doesn't care.
I don't care. So it doesn't matter if my girl cares.
That's the way to look at it.
How'd you get a text message? Was that you who just got a text message?
Yeah, that was me.
Did I get it? Nobody texted me. I went like 3 days last week without getting a text message. You ever gone 3 days without getting a text message?
No. We have girlfriends, dude.
I don't even know if I have 3 fucking minutes.
Exactly.
That's awful. I mean, On the opposite end of the spectrum, not getting a text for 3 days makes you really question if you even got any friends. No offense. But, yeah, if I got a text every 3 minutes, I probably would have killed myself years ago.
I mean, granted, I do have a child, so.
Different. You have a dog now, I heard.
Yeah, I adopted a dog, man.
It's called the Black Dahlia murder.
No, it's just called Dahlia.
It'd be more metal if it was the way I said it.
No shit.
Anyway, that's a preview of the kind of thing you can expect on the Patreon uncut episodes. Patreon.com/DragonBallSuperJump.
Shameless plug.
I'm all about those shameless plugs. Yes, now that I'm unshook, you're right. We totally missed Amajiki's Vast Hybrid. Is that what it was called? And then the Chimera Kraken.
Yep.
Where he just... That's like the sound of
it hitting the wall and coming back off.
I guess. I don't know what.
I have no idea.
There's something musical about the way that I do it.
Sounds like a washing machine.
There's something kick-ass. It kind of does. Good call. It's a lot more kick-ass the way he does it. And he just snaps everybody up and food comes in trying to eat up all his tentacles.
Which he succeeded.
Does. Gets up right close to him. I like that Tamajiki also has that moment where he's like, if I get my squid stuff together, I can hit him with this oil and it'll paralyze him. Doesn't have time to do it, but I think it gives some insight into like the kind of strategy that he projects into using his quirk.
Yep.
And he talks a little bit about it. He's like, fuck you guys. Over the last 2 years at high school, I worked so hard to use this. I mean, in passing, when you think about his quirk, you could
do anything.
You could definitely not be a hero with it. I could very realistically, I could see more instances where somebody with that quirk not be a hero, as opposed to him using it to be a hero.
Right.
But not only has he used it to become a hero, but he's used it to become one of the best heroes. At least, I should say, at least among the students at UA, he's one of the big three. You know, not pro hero yet, but he's arguably stronger than a lot of pro heroes.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got so much control over his quirk. It's remarkable. And they kind of talk about it. I think it was Mirio or Fat Gum. I'm not 100%. But the way that they talk, the way that he views himself and treats himself and talks about himself, he's always just so down on himself, you know?
Yeah.
And if he can still continue to exceed expectations in the fashion that he does, to be one of the top three in his class.
With no confidence whatsoever.
With zero self-confidence.
Imagine if he had confidence like Mirio.
Well, not only imagine if he had the confidence, but I just think that in and of itself is remarkable.
Yeah.
You don't like yourself, and you're still as successful as you are.
Like one of the top students in the whole country, in the whole school, rather.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's worth pointing out that, so I saw a thing the other day that the inspiration for Tamajiki came in 2017. All right. It's December, everybody. If you remember, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, last December we did the Jump Festa coverage because I thought that a Dragon Ball announcement was going to happen, and it didn't. Jump Festa this year is December 21st and 22nd. I'm very hopeful we get a Dragon Ball announcement. Anyway, I bring up Jump Festa because Jump Festa 2017, Horikoshi goes to it to make some general My Hero Academia announcements or whatever. And I don't know if you know this about him, but he wears like a mask in public. He doesn't feel comfortable showing his face in public. Very much like Toriyama has a similar kind of thing that he does with his animated thing. Whatever, doesn't matter. Horikoshi doesn't typically show his face in public. He wore his mask thing, but he still had like some crazy fucking anxiety walking around and just being like so depressed and overwhelmed by the moment that he couldn't be happy, even though he knew he was at the pinnacle of his success. That set of circumstances is what inspired Amajiki. That mentality, that anxiety, that mindset of knowing that like you're pretty good, but maybe, you know, the self-doubt has you questioning if you really deserve to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And Amajiki today obviously shows that he should be there. And last thing I want to touch on before we wrap here is obviously food doesn't go after Crystallize, right? He doesn't try to eat him because it's his friend. That's the whole thing. The trash bonds together to be something more than trash.
Yeah.
They're willing to give themselves up for Overhaul because who gives a shit about what happens after this? All of that stuff. In his victory speech, whatever, before they cut to the end song, he's like, you don't eat your friends, or you can't eat your friends. You don't eat your friends. Yeah.
Don't eat your friends.
So it sounds like kind of a weird line. I thought it was a bad translation. I went and checked the sub. Basically the same line. It's got to be some kind of foreshadowing, right? For his name, Suneater. You don't eat your friend, who is the sun, Mirio in this case. Is there going to be some kind of opportunity for him to be able to betray Mirio maybe in the future? And obviously he wouldn't take it because now we understand the seriousness and strength of their bonds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe that's foreshadowing for that. Just thought it was worth pointing out. But that's basically episode 71. We maybe have glossed over a couple of points, but I don't give a shit because you know what? If I don't eat any food soon, I'm going to die. But before we wrap, let's talk about we get another Red Riot episode next week.
That's going to be awesome.
Kirishima, he's the best boy. Kirishima Facom, fucking up 2 of the 8 bullets of the Husaikai. Ba 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 ba. Like that?
Yeah, it was pretty good, man.
That was a good jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. Kirishima. Fucking up the dudes of the Husaikai.
Good one, man.
She has like stuffy. All right. Thank you for listening, Jason. Great job on your first 2 episodes of Super Dope Plus Ultra.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers to you, baby.
Cheers.
Wham bam, thank you, man. Feds, big feds and low feds. I didn't make one Pete and Pete joke on your ass.
It was good.
Low feds. Yeah. No, it's Jay and Feds, but they're brothers. Why are all my friends siblings?
I don't know. Are you're friends with a lot of people that have siblings?
I don't have any siblings.
Yes, you do.
I don't have any siblings my own age.
True.
Then again, who does? Twins?
Well, twins. Yeah.
And perhaps triplets?
Well, yes, any one of the multiple babies. Yep. And
quadruplets?
Perhaps quintuplets.
Maybe some sextuplets.
Oh, shit. What's 7, though?
Sept.
What's 8?
8. Oct. What's 9?
Non-tuplet? N-O-N?
I don't know. I'm asking you, Holmes.
What's 10? 10 tuplets.
Deck. It'd be deck. Deck? No, deca's 20. No. Dodeca's 20.
Yeah.
Deca's 10.
Yeah.
You know how I know that? Dodecahedron. That's a 20-sided dice.
And you know, a decade is 10 years.
And I know that 10 years ago, I was 2 years out of high school.
10 years
Feeling
ago, I
fine.
was just getting out of high school.
Now I'm 30, balding and talking about anime on a podcast.
Woo!
If you enjoyed that podcast, make sure you rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, maybe even YouTube. I think we're still there. I'm not sure what's up with the COPA laws. If you have questions about COPA laws, go check out patreon.com/DragonBallSuperDope. I'll explain them in more detail, but really not that much more detail, in a previous episode from a few weeks back. If you like My Hero Academia and you like podcasts and you have friends who like My Hero Academia and they maybe like podcasts, maybe they haven't like turned themselves onto the medium yet, but they're open to it. Maybe you're going to be the conversion dude. You're going to get them on podcasts. Maybe you're that guy. Maybe you're that person.
Maybe.
Tell them about our podcast. That's how we grow, baby.
Do it, man.
The best recommendations come from the people who already listen to us.
Yep.
Tell your friends. If you don't have any friends to tell, go fucking make some friends to tell.
You weirdo.
I mean, that's what Fed said, not me, guys. I believe in you.
I believe in everybody. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you believe in child murderers?
No. Fuck those people.
I've already poked holes in your theory, Feds.
Poke.
That's an extreme, Kyle.
Watching a lot of old Simpsons.
Yeah.
Whenever Sideshow Bob tries to kill Bart Simpson, makes me happy. I forgive Sideshow Bob.
Wow.
Yep. It's because he
Deep
sings.
stuff, folks.
You got a great opera voice.
Yeah. But he also tried to kill a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, but gonna raise my hand with the peace sign. Sideshow Bob forever.
That almost landed in your drink.
That would have been great.